Okay, what the heck is going on here? There's a boat driving in the city. Is this a police boat? Oh, and those road transitions look hideous. Don't look at that. We got to fix this. What the heck is going on in Sockside? Hello, City Skylines fans. I'm sockswayup, and welcome back to another episode of Lake Sockside. Today we're going to take a different twist of this episode. We're going to introduce Overbed. This is going to be part one of a mini-series kind of showing the rise and demise of a town called Overbed that is to the northeast of Lake Sockside. So the challenge here was to create a city that was, once populated and now is dead. So naturally, I went on a workshop and tried to find as many abandoned buildings as possible. And here you can see what was originally a proof of concept that I ended up sticking with because I liked the way it was turning out so much that I just kept it. And you'll see as we keep going, we start adding all of these old looking buildings or houses that look like people lived in them years ago and they've been abandoned for a while. And that was exactly the look we were going for. It wasn't just the buildings, it's the way we're going to detail the terrain around the buildings and the landscaping of the houses and the yards that really make this area stick out as an abandoned city. It was a blast to make. I did the whole poll on the community tab and on YouTube, and abandoned city, surprisingly to me, was winning for a while. We're going to do the fishing industry later on as well and some other things, but it was fun to challenge myself with this. And so far we're done the residential in this episode. We'll get to commercial and industry. This whole city of Overbed is going to be developed and shown as abandoned when we get done with it. Very cool concept. I had a blast making it so far, and I can't wait to finish it and see how it turns out. But you can see we did a lot of repeating with Move It. Wasn't too particular about making every street look unique. It was really a feel that I wanted to go with, and I think we get it here in a little bit as we start doing the detailing, and my voice is giving out, so I apologize for that. So I added these shrubs originally, and I went back and forth with them multiple times. They almost looked too alive when I got done with this process. I wanted it to look overgrown, as in it's been abandoned for a while, maybe apocalyptic type feel to it. As you can see, we're kind of just placing some things, feeling out how it looks. A lot of trial and error until I got, a good feeling to where I thought was a good middle ground. So this was definitely a first stab at it. I guess we're showing the second attempt. That first one was way too alive. And so we're going back and starting over and kind of showing the process of, I did it one time, I didn't like it, so we're trying it again. Adding in a little bit of these shrubs. I'm not going to overdo them, or this tall grass. I'm not going to overdo it as much as we did the first time. And then the trees that were alive, not going to add those back. We're just going to use these trees that look like they're dying off and don't have any leaves on them anymore. We also played around with these tiles. We ended up updating it to use the networks instead of the surface networks instead of these decals. They're a pain to work with. I'm definitely starting to enjoy the networks better. I was debating completely blocking the sidewalk. Did a lot of back and forth with the design here. It was a blast. You can see here we're going with the network instead. It ends up looking a lot better, and it kind of showed the flaws in the terrain, which we then fixed with Move It and evening out all of the segments and getting it narrowed down to what we wanted it to be. I think the creative process and the challenge in this particular task that we took on was very unique for me, and it pushed my limits of learning what I can do in City Skylines. And based on the assets that you can find in the workshop and other videos that you can find out there of what people have done and Reddit posts and things just across the whole City Skylines community. It was really fun to do the research, prepping for this episode, and getting this whole city finished is going to be very, very fun and exciting for me. Unfortunately, you can probably hear my voice. I've been a little off lately, and it's slowed down the progress, and we are moving in the next weekend, so I'm going to be having to take some time off from these videos. So we're going to be stuck with part one just for a little bit, but hopefully it'll only be a week or hopefully two at the most without an episode, and get this finished up and move on to other things in Lake Sockside. But this is fun. This is a cool part. It adds some history to the city and what was before the Lake Sockside downtown area, and I think it's very cool for this town. You can see we're doing some final detail here. This is where we landed. We ended up using these networks to block off each one of these blocks, and then, you know, move it to kind of copy and paste it everywhere. The way we added the dirt into the streets, I just think looks awesome. It looks like they've been there for a long time. No one's done any maintenance on them. They've just been abandoned, and you can see some of those shrubs are still there, but in this final little cinematic, they're completely gone. It looks abandoned. It looks like people were here years ago. They even left their clothes on the clothing lines to dry. Who knows? Maybe there was a catastrophe in the industry area that caused people to leave so abruptly. We'll get to that in the next few episodes. I'm sockswayup again. We're gonna have a little bit of a break between now and the next episode. Some things out of my control, some things I knew were coming I was trying to get ahead of but couldn't. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Lake Sockside Overbed edition. Have a good one, everyone.